January the 2nd, I'll be 92. I've had a good life. I've had a very good wife. I first met my wife when I was 10 years old, and I met her in church. And I had a terrible crush on her. And she didn't like me. She called me a nasty boy because I swore. I grew up, I went into the Army. I wanted the Navy and they gave me the Army. I was drafted. And I was in the Pacific. But when I got home, I remembered Marilyn, and I asked a friend of mine, is she married? And they said, no, she's still single. I said, where does she hang out? She said, well, she has this restaurant. So I kept my uniform on because I looked pretty good and went to see her. She was sitting on a stool having a cup of coffee. And I said to her, do you remember me? And she looked at me and said, yeah. And that wasn't good. Well, I said, you know, I had a crush on you when you were 10 years old. And she said, I know. So I said, I'd like to take you out. She said, I'm busy. So I asked her out 4 times. Finally, she said, I'll go out with you once, so you won't like me. And I said, okay, where do you want to go? She said, I want to go where there's a crowd. You know. So I took her bowling. And I made my first mistake with her. I beat her. I shouldn't have done that. But anyway, I took her home and I said, can I kiss you good night? She said, yes. So I kissed her good night and I said, well, by any chance, would you like to go out with me again? And she said, yes. When I told her I wanted to marry her, she said, well, there's some things I want. She said, I want this house. And she reached in her pocket and she had a picture of a house. And like an idiot, I said, well, if you marry me, I'll build you that house. Well, she said, well, I want to bring up my children in that house. 5 years went by and I said, don't you think it's time we start a family? And she brought out the picture and just showed it to me, didn't say anything. But I got the message. So I built her that house. We moved in and started our family. I joined the Masons almost 62 years. And I've always liked the companionship of being a Mason. But when I came up here, I visited it a couple of times later in life, and I was amazed on this place. This place is gorgeous. We kept falling down. I know they'll take care of me until I die. And that's better than being rich. Everybody should be able to spend their later life in a place like this. It's not home, but when you get our age, it's better than home.